Some of you guys are gonna shit your pants. Okay? I know. We're getting really, really close to Halloween, if you couldn't tell by my garb. I'm excited, I'm in the spirit. What do you want? This is one of the biggest party nights of the entire year in this city. Okay? One of the biggest. The freaks come out at night. No, the freaks come out all month. God. What are we gonna do here, guys? What are we doing? You know, how they say there's not gonna be a parade. Well, they're wrong. My tea cooled off. There is gonna be a parade. There's one every year. Except, do you guys remember that one year that Hurricane Sandy hit? And the parade got canceled? He canceled the parade, the mayor. I couldn't believe it. It's crazy. You know when that parade gets canceled, shit is getting real. That was a hell of a time, right? They canceled the marathon. I was supposed to work that week. I was going to make like $200 in like 2 hours or something crazy doing like promotional work. Got canceled. That was like half my rent. Oh well. You know, these things happen. What are you going to do? Anyway, it was a crazy time. New York has a lot of weather. New York has too much weather, is what it is. You never really know what to expect. That's part of the problem. So this will be like my ninth Halloween here, and yeah, I think my ninth Halloween. Yeah, I'm getting close to my 10 years in this town. Oh my God, there have been years where like last year it was like kind of humid but muggy but raining. The first year I moved here, it's like snowed on Halloween Day. Then one year we had a hurricane. Another year it was like just mild, like still like kind of like late summery. It does this. You never know what to expect this time of year as far as the weather is concerned. Um, like by the time this video, I shoot these ahead of time, right? I got a lot going on. I got the music, I got the show, I got the site. Listen, it's a big old mess. Anyway, by the time that I shoot this and it's posted on the YouTube, the weather could be totally different. Like it's decent now. It's pretty, it's still in the 70s. I don't know. You never know with this town. It's like you wake up every day, you just have all of your clothes out, right? Anyway, I've learned a few tricks over the years, and I want to share some things with you guys as far as a night on the town during Halloween goes, because I can't think of a single place or type of place I haven't really been. Um, House parties, nightclubs, house parties, then nightclubs, random nights out, just random nights in because I was sick. Um, I don't even, the list just goes on and on. I mean, there's just never not something to do. And maybe you can't apply everything this year. It's a little late in the game. But what I'm counting on is a lot of you guys don't make plans until the day before or the day of. I mean, you know your costume. Some of you don't know your costume, though. I've been there before, though. When I'm on the street, sometimes you wait until the last minute, but you do find those gem of costumes. It's kind of weird. Like the very last one, you kind of got to dig for it. You know, I don't know. I've had that experience. It's never too early to get started, and apparently it's never too late either. So, here's a couple tips. If you're doing the whole big nightclub scene, which is pretty amazing on Halloween because there's such an influx and such a mixture of people. You don't have to worry about the dress code. You don't have to worry about do I have enough girls. Um, Usually most of the parties in this town are ticketed. I can't think of any of especially the big nightclubs that aren't ticketed. And it's not the usual, douchey crowd that you may come across. Like, you probably don't have to deal with promoters and door guys and bouncers and all that. Have your ticket out, have your ticket ready, and your ID, you know. So you're going to need a place in your costume. We'll get to that. Even though, listen, buy tickets early. It's popular to wait for the last minute to commit to something. I know, I get it. I do it too. We all do that. But A lot of these tickets and a lot of these experiences in these big nightclubs are definitely um, the juice is worth the squeeze. So I went to, um, where did I go? Was this last year? I think it was 2 years ago. I went to Webster Hall for the big Halloween show party night. They had dancers. They had a whole thing. We got a bottle service, so we paid extra for that. But this was the night that was worth it. We could be comfortable. We were, up on the balcony, the upstairs section of it. You know, we had a little table. It was only four of us, and we really made a day of it. So I would say don't wait for the last minute to commit, because good planning, the importance of good planning, can make for a really, really smooth night. You don't want to be running around. You want to have your location where you're putting your costume on. You know, you kind of want to know your route a little bit, because there's just going to be so much chaos. There's going to be so much going on that night. There's going to be so much to see, and you're going to want to take pictures, and some of you are going to lose your phones and your keys, and it's going to be a big old mess. And the more planning you have on a night like Halloween, the smoother things will go, because they're probably not going to go that smooth. Second, at this stage in the game, I was getting into this before, you should already have an idea of what your costume is. Okay, you should already kind of know what you're thinking. If you want to do something, what I love about these big cities, because I have the same experiences in Miami too. Halloween is just one big fashion show. It's one big fashion show. Costumes can be expensive. Costumes are very expensive. Um, I've had a few years where I started saving for my Halloween costume in June, so that I could save a little bit each week and just think, I've, I've, I'm one of those people. I've done these over the top costumes, and I've spent like $100, $200 on costumes before. But I also do like two or three parties now where I have different costumes, right? So if you want your costume to be good, um, I wouldn't rely on ordering anything online. I would say go to the store, try it on, make sure it fits. Now some things are kind of one size fits all. You know, the big furry, like one year I was the big gorilla. I had a full body gorilla, and I think I just wore like Jordans, black Jordans, and it worked out well. Only because they're kind of a one size fits all, or one size fits most, and they sort of adjust to your body type. I will say this: under the big costumes, you'll want to wear. Listen, depending on the weather, you know, that's really going to determine what you wear underneath your clothes. I mean, obviously, you need somewhere to put your like ID and your phone, at least. So, quick story. One year I wore um, basketball shorts under and a t-shirt, but we were going to like three different clubs. We like hopping around. My friend was in Miami. We were socialites, and every time we got in the car, I had to take off the costume because I was exhausted. I was dancing so hard, drinking so much. I was going crazy. I was out of my mind. What do you want from me? Didn't plan well. You know. Um, just think about it. It's going to depend on the weather. This is Miami. It was hot. It could be freaking, 40 degrees by Halloween night here. We don't know that, and a blizzard. Who knows? Um, you know, but keep that in mind, right? Again, as far as costumes go, live your best drag life. Okay, go all out, commit to the part, and commit to the role. I'm gonna give you a quote from the book of Mean Girls. Um, Halloween is the one night of the year where a girl can dress like a total slut and no other girls can say anything. This this applies to guys too. Be whoever you want, and fuck judgment and fuck the haters. That's what I say. That's what I say about this night. This is the night to let loose. The freaks really come out. As long as you're committed to what it is you're doing, you didn't half-ass it, people will like it. Do your research. Go online. One year I was gonna do the the Beyonce, um, the hold up video look with the yellow maxi dress and the baseball bat, and I had studied, so I studied it. I studied that look, and the tresses, and that's the hair, and everything about that look, and I want to do it so badly, but I ended up just not doing Halloween that year. So that was fine. That was fine. I probably saved myself a ton of money trying to do drag, you know. But if you're doing something like drag, which a lot of people like to do, and I mean everything is kind of a drag, right? Um, just commit to it. People love the details. People admire the details. Um, the great part about Halloween is, you know, no one's. It's really scary. It's just kind of a one big fashion show for everyone to get involved with. So it's great. If you're a hardcore Halloweener, like I said, I kind of said this before, have multiple costumes for multiple parties, right? We know that Halloween has evolved into Halloweekend, and for some of us, Halloweek. Some of y'all started celebrating like the first day of the month because you just can't help yourselves. That's fine. I'm not judging you or shading you. It's just that you're weird. Um, you got house parties, you got clubs, you got bars, you got contests and competitions to win. You got some. You want to get some free shots for best costumes. You got a lot of stuff on the books. You know what I mean? You're gonna wear out that one big gorilla costume. I'm not saying that from experience. I'm just saying that if you choose the gorilla costume, which is a really comfortable costume, sometimes you just want to go from comfort though. You don't want to be slutty, you know, and that's okay too. It's more of a chance for you think you'll have time to dry clean? You think you're gonna have time to dry clean your costumes? You're not. You're not. So you're gonna want to have backup costumes. You're gonna get sweaty, you know, and you're gonna want to mix it up a little bit and do some different things. That's if you're a hardcore, you know, Halloweeny and you like to go multiple things. I also do a lot of. There was a couple years where I had like shows after shows after shows, and I couldn't just wear the same thing. So I would buy multiple costumes, and this sort of leads me um, to my next tip because to be like a hardcore Halloweeny, you have to have like a bigger sense of imagination. You have to be more creative, and you have to like watch the bank as well, which is part of being creative, right? So tip number 5: the best Halloween costumes aren't always the most expensive ones. They're not. One year, I had to do God, I don't even remember. It was like 3 or 4 shows for Halloween, right? Like I said, this was the perfect time. I couldn't just wear the same thing over and over again. I had to work. I didn't have time to just be washing Halloween costumes and drying them and waiting the whole bit. You know what I mean? And then some things can't go in the wash. Sometimes you got masks and stuff that's nasty, like after a night of, you know, partying and performing and all that. So, the best Halloween costumes are not always the most expensive ones. I one time did a whole Tarzan look. I cut up some fabric and did a wraparound and a drape and did the kind of cheap. Cost me all of $10 or $15. You know, I bought some like furry slippers to give it effect. I cut up the you know some of the fabric and put it on my wrist and on my arm. You know, you can do it up for cheap. You know, just and that was just fabric that I had cut up and you know sort of distressed and made it look kind of jungly. And you know that was one of my looks, right? Um, if you want to go with something in the medical field, listen, scrubs are not expensive. People don't know that. Scrubs cost like less than $15 for, you know. And then if you want to add, you know, makeup, you can get the $5 like paint for the blood and that type of thing. Anyway, it does not have to be expensive for it to look nice, right? If you're on social media, it's not too early to set up your lighting and get your costumes ready, right? And lighting to get ready for your costumes, right? You guys love this stuff. I get annoyed with it, but you know, it's kind of a part of just the way we are now, the culture that we live in. We live in a picture land, right? So Halloween is kind of prime time for you guys. Make sure it looks nice. Obviously, you're going to have the bathroom selfies because you guys love those. Get your friends to take some. Find your lighting for the costume. You know, some costumes are flattering depending on the color scheme, on how they, you know, cover your face or don't cover your face. There's certain angles, certain details that you might want to highlight in it. You know, it's an important thing. So that's just one tip. And it's really, really, because the thing about doing it early is it's really, really difficult when you're drunk on Halloween to take like great pictures. Because you kind of look like shit. I mean, you know, after a point, you're kind of sweaty. You know, the wig is just a mess. It's too much. Make sure you get those pictures in at the beginning of the night, before you go out, during the pregame, or even like days before. You picked out the costume, you're trying it on, you're making things work, and then you have good pictures for the socials. You guys love the socials. Final tip: don't let the pressure of looking great get to you. Okay, being great. Don't worry about all that. Being great, looking great, having a great costume. Don't let any of that stuff get to you when it's all said and done. Have a great time. Enjoy the night. Be safe, and avoid conversations about politics and candy corn because you never know who likes candy corn. Me. Um, you just never know, and you just don't want to go down that route. Anyway, I'm Freddie Cosmo for Culture Concierge. Be sure to follow us online at CultureCon NYC on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/CultureCon NYC. Of course, check out our website for all of the Halloween turn up. We've got a ton of parties that we're covering this year on our handpicked list. I believe it starts somewhere from 3 to 4 days before because Halloween's on a Wednesday, meaning the Halloween weekend um, extends it for almost like 7 days of reasonable Halloween, like justify, like no one can say that you're like too early, that it's too soon, you know. So make sure you check out the site, www.cultureconciergeonline.com. We have updates every single day about the happenings here. We're also going to talk about some community stuff and just nightlife in general right now. But the special Halloween turn up, handpicked by our staff, should be up soon. I'm Freddie Cosmo at Freddie Cosmo Inc. on Twitter and at Freddie Cosmo on Instagram. And I'll see you next time. Be sure to subscribe to our page and leave a comment below with whatever it is that you'd like to see, whatever you'd like to talk about, or whatever questions you might have.